I'm so tired of the dust that's everywhere. Every time I'm doing fills, removals, dry manicure, and it's not just about how it looks, it's also a matter of health. It's definitely not healthy breathing it in all the time. That's why I'm super excited to try my new dust collector by Melodysusie. Coming up. Hello guys, this is Anastasia. I'm so excited to try this dust collector because during last 3 months I didn't have any dust collector at all. I was using regular small portable vacuum cleaner and it was so annoying because the dust still is like everywhere. So I need to redo my own nails, I need to do fill on this hand, and I have another client coming for fill and dry manicure, so let's try it out. Let's start with unpacking. The box overall is not too big, so I really like that this dust collector is so compact. Here I have a user manual and the collector itself. 3 buttons on the side, we can take this off, and this is the filter, which we can clean with a vacuum cleaner or eventually we are going to replace it. When I did electric nail file reviews, you guys always asked me to keep the sound, and I'm going to do it this time as well so you can hear the noise of the dust collector. So let's plug it in and turn it on. So there are 2 modes. One is low and another one is higher, depending on how much dust you are going to have. Let's say if you will be filing a little bit, I think the first one will be enough. And if you would like to file more, then you can turn the top speed. I can already feel that this piece of paper is just stuck to the surface, so let's try it. I do have some product on my left hand and I will also keep the sound for a little while. And I have to say, there is a sound. Honestly, I've never heard of any good dust collectors yet that do not have any noise. I mean, they are noisy at some point, but you probably can hear it. The sound of my electric nail file filing the nails is actually a bit louder. Oh, and by the way, this is my right hand, not the left one, so it is going to take a while. So after a couple days, I decided to do a fill on myself, and let's try this because now I'm filing only the top coat. I had some gel strips on, and there is not that much dust coming from it. Once you switch to your dominant hand, everything goes so easy and quick because now it is finally comfortable to work. As you can see, I do have some dust on my hands and on my gloves. It's not like there's no dust at all, but definitely a lot less compared to what I had before. Now let me show you. You can see some footage on the left. This is me working without any dust collector, and you can see that the dust is just everywhere. I can barely see something because of it, and I always need to clean every time I file off someone's nails. This was just a little test drive. Now let's do the full service to my client and use dust collector and see how it's going to work when we are going to perform the whole service from the beginning to the end. This is my client with gel extensions. Her nails are very damaged, so we decided to switch to gel extensions and short nails, and this time we will be doing fill. From the first look, it seems that her nails are in perfect conditions. There's not much lifting, but when we look to the sides, you will see that there are many cracks we will need to fix. So I start by gently pushing back the cuticles with orange wood stick, and by the way, this nail is broken. You can see that it is shorter than the others. So I'm going to start with filing off the top coat, and this nail is about to break. You can see this crack on the side, so I will be extremely careful to not break it right now as I'm filing it. I noticed one thing about this dust collector. So the buttons on the side I showed you at the beginning, they're like sensor buttons, so you don't actually have to push it like with a force, you just lightly touch it. And every time I'm holding my dust collector like this, when the button is facing me, sometimes I was accidentally touching it and turning it to the lower mode. But overall, I think it's not that big of a problem. I would just reposition it because This dust collector is square shape, so it doesn't really matter which side you turn it. I just wanted to keep it this way so you guys will see the logo. But once you turn it to the side, this problem is not there anymore. As a person who didn't have any dust collector during last 4 months, I have to say that this is a pleasure working like this, because the majority of the dust still stays inside. I can see everything that I'm working on. I do need to wipe off the dust sometimes, especially when I'm working with the cuticles or dry manicure, but I do not need to do it like every 10 seconds. I would love to hear your thoughts on Melodysusie dust collector and dust collectors overall. Do you guys use one? Because if you don't, trust me, you will see the difference immediately. For me, it's not just about the convenience at work, but also about the health, because I'm allergic to regular dust, not the nail dust. I always feel bad when I go somewhere and it is too dusty there. Sometimes I start this crazy sneezing, when you just sneeze and can't stop. Index finger is broken, but there's no lifting. That's why I'm going to take off the top coat, to take off some excess product, especially from the free edge. But I'm not going to file it all down completely because, like I said, these clients' nails are damaged and overfiled, and we definitely do not want to file them again. So I will just leave a thin coat of the product and then feed the form to do a new extension. Next part of the fill is filing the nail underneath. There's not that much outgrown natural nail yet, just a little bit, and also I would like to file the product a little bit so the nails will not look like they're growing downwards. I'm using carbide bit with green abrasive mark. And finally, we need to do dry manicure. This is diamond flame shaped bit with red abrasive mark. So the only nail we had a little lifting on is this thumb. You can see on the right side that I removed it, and we are going to add new product there, but first we need to prep the cuticles. I'm cleaning the dust sometimes, as you can see, with a brush, but I definitely do not need to do it that often as I used to. So I'm definitely happy about this new piece of equipment that I have, and I am going to use it in my everyday work. I also like it that it's compact, so if you're working in a multiple locations, like I have a friend who works in a few salons, or if you do mobile services, or you just have to wrap your working space sometimes, then this dust collector is definitely suitable for it because it's pretty small and super easy to move. I do not turn off dust collector even when I'm filing with a hand file because there is not that much dust, but there is still some. And when I'm doing dry manicure also. I noticed that there is a little piece of lifting I didn't clean, so I am just going to get back to that. The speed is about 17,000 rotations per minute. So once you are ready to apply the product on top, you need to make sure you filed off the lifting, because if it remains on the nails, we're going to lock the lifting under the new product and it is going to grow eventually. Finally, I'm going to trim the cuticles, and at this point I'm also still using the dust collector because these cuticles are going to fly in there. And only now we do not need to work with dust collector. Now I turn it off because we are going to do product application. I apply dehydrator, non-acid primer and a base coat only on the parts where we have natural nail. Cure in LED for 30 seconds, and normally I'm going to do a fill with hard gel, but we have some sidewalls missing and corners. So for me, it is just better and easier to use something thicker, so I decided to use polygel to fix it. It is possible to do it with hard gel too, but in this case we would need to fit the form and it will definitely take longer. While with polygel, I just fix it just by sculpting on the air. Then we cure for 1 minute and we can proceed doing the hard gel application. I noticed that sometimes I get questions like, can you do fill with hard gel on polygel nails and vice versa? Absolutely. You can not just do fill, you can combine them in one nail like I just did, because adding some things is just easier to do it with polygel or acrylic, and filling, in my opinion, is a little easier with hard gel. So I add some product right here to level up the space and then cure it for 1 minute. And then I'm taking a little more gel and add it near the cuticle and going to rebuild the nail. This is the short nail, so the apex will be located in the area where we have the nail bed, right in the middle of the nail. And the cuticle area as well as the sidewalls area should remain thinner. Few videos ago, I asked you if you like longer and more detailed videos, and most of you voted yes. So this one is going to be one of those videos where I will show you the entire service from the beginning to the end. Then we cure the thumb and I continue. Remember, we need to do extensions on this nail because it was broken. So first I fit the form, and I prefer fitting the form first, and then I apply dehydrator, non-acid primer, and a thin layer of the base coat. Cure it in LED for 30 seconds, and then I'm going to do extensions. Every time I create a new nail on the forms, it's always a bit of a challenge to make it perfectly match with the existing nails because, you know, when you do a fresh nail, I usually tend to pinch them a little more. So I will really do my best so it is going to look exactly the same. So I always take the first bead to create the free edge, make sure that the length matches with the existing nails, and we are going to do the traditional square shape. Cure the first part, and then I'm going to build the structure of the nail, and to do this I will need slightly more product, and starting from the cuticle I'm going to apply it to the rest of the nail. When I'm holding a client's finger, I try to hold it a little bit downwards to make sure that the product is not going to flow under the cuticle. We definitely do not want to flood it. Also make sure it is not going to flood the sidewalls. So once I'm happy with the application, I'm going to freeze cure it for about 15 to 20 seconds. Then I will pinch it like this and cure for remaining 1 minute. Then we can take the form off, and this is it. And to do the rest of the application, I also need to fix the broken corners, and we have them on almost each nail. I will be using polygel to do that. Once you fix the broken sidewall or the corner, I recommend you to add a little bit more than you're supposed to, because once you will be shaping and filing it, you will have some room to fix it. And then we have another one on this side. Do not take too much product when you fix it, and I also recommend you to start from fixing the broken corners and sidewalls, and only after that I continue to regular application. When doing fill, we mostly need to add product near the cuticle and a little bit under the cuticle as well to reposition the apex. Since we have short nails and they are not that much outgrown, we also do not need too much product. So I take some amount of gel and do the application. I always try to take my time and do the application as best as I can, so the filing time will be like as fast as possible. Then we need to fully cure the hand for 1 minute. And after that, I'm going to take off the sticky layer. By the way, this part is very important. We do not want to have some stickiness in the dust. And then I'm just going to slightly file and shape the nails. And here we go, using dust collector again. Every time you file anything, natural nails, nails after product application, just a quick fix of the sidewall, turn on your dust collector, because anything related to dust is so much better and easier when you have this collector taking this extra dust for you. So mostly I'm filing the free edge and the sidewalls because we've been fixing them a lot, and also on some nails where we had cracks and I was adding the product, I would like to fix it from underneath, because all these additions we made with polygel, they may be not super smooth underneath, and I'm going to fix this using carbide bead with green abrasive mark. I like this shape because it allows me to reach these furthest areas closer to the nail. I would say this is the longest part of the filing after the application, because on the top we don't really need to file a lot. I'm only going to buff the surface to make sure it's smooth, and also it will be easier to apply the color. But we decided that this color of this gel already looks pretty good and natural, so instead we will be using a semi-transparent color to add some shine to them. One coat of semi-transparent golden color, cure and seal it with a glossy top coat by Melodysusie. I hope you enjoyed this quick gel fill tutorial and dust collector overview. I definitely recommend you regardless of your experience. The link to it as well as the discount code will be in the description box as usual. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time here on my channel, consider subscribing, as I post tutorials and product reviews just like this one every week. See you in my next one. Goodbye.